Welcome to Cooking from the Cave. I'm Chef Pete Truziak, and today it's Strawberry Shortcake Crumble Day. It's the first week of June here in the Midwest, and our farmers market's finally opened, and so we went down this morning, picked up some beautiful strawberries, and what better to show them off other than just eating them raw is let's do a strawberry crumble. The first thing you do is you macerate the strawberries, and what that means is I've taken the strawberries, I've cut them up into quarters. I've hulled them, which you take the greens off, and if there's any stems. I cut them into quarters, and I put a little bit of brown sugar in here. And a little bit of brown sugar is roughly about 2 tablespoons. I'll toss the strawberries in that, I'll set it off to the side, and then I'll get all my other ingredients prepped up. So I'll measure them out. Because this is a shortcake crumble, meaning it's going to have that cakey dough on the bottom and a crumble topping, I'm going to show you how to make that topping to begin with. Starts off with a ½ cup of oats. These are rolled oats. ½ cup of flour. 1/3 cup of brown sugar. We're going to stir this up. I'm going to put a little pinch of salt in there. You don't need a lot, because being that it's the first strawberries of the year, they're going to have a lot of flavor. We don't need to add a lot of flavor to this. We're just going to kind of enhance that strawberry flavor, so you don't need to put a lot of sugar in this. And then we're going to add our unsalted butter, and this is 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I've cubed this up, but I didn't put it back in the refrigerator to cool it down or anything. And I'm just going to beat this up, and once they get coated with the actual flour and the oats, then I'm going to switch from using the paddle. I'm going to go to my old-fashioned way of mixing things. I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to get in here and I'm going to just grind it up. It's okay if you get little chunks of butter that aren't surrounded by anything. Everything's going to get baked and melted together. But the more you can combine this with your hands and the heat from your hands, the better. So this might take you about 15-20 seconds. Our crumble has come together now. You still have, like I said, some larger chunks of the butter, but what you just want it well combined. And then we'll set this aside. Now that our crumble is finished, we can go ahead and make our actual shortcake for this. I'm going to start with 2 cups of flour, this all-purpose flour. I'm going to add vanilla sugar. What vanilla sugar is you can find it in most good baking stores. Just vanilla bean that's been processed with actual sugar. Has that nice, very subtle vanilla flavor to it. If you don't have vanilla sugar at home, just use regular granulated sugar. Put a little vanilla extract into this recipe, and I'll tell you when to do that. Basically, you do that when you add your cream and your eggs. We're going to go ahead and add a pinch of salt, and then our baking soda as well as our baking powder. It's going to be 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and just a pinch of baking soda in here. We're going to combine our heavy cream as well as our 2. I've already whipped our eggs together. Blend those together. I'm going to evenly incorporate those, basically our wet ingredients together. And this is where, if we didn't have that vanilla sugar option, this is where our granulated sugar's in here, and then we'll just add probably about a teaspoon of vanilla to this mixture. Vanilla and strawberries lend themselves so well together. And we're going to just roughly stir our flour and our sugar together. And we'll get another spatula. And as I'm pouring my cream and my eggs in here, probably do it in 2 batches. Just want to stir this up so that it evenly combines into a loose cake batter consistency. I'll show you what that looks like in 1 second. Alright, it's running a little bit on you, that's fine. You don't want to overmix this. You don't want the flour to get tough and cause this to be a very tough. You still want it to be nice and airy and flaky. this point, I'm going to add about half my strawberries to this. Those half will get beaten up a little bit. That's okay. The sugar that you've added, so that you're macerating the strawberries, will give this a little bit more moisture in here. And from here, I have a 8x8 buttered casserole or Pyrex dish that I'm going to pour my batter in here. And just make sure you get all the batter. And what I do whenever I'm doing any type of batter is I'll start at the top of the bowl. I'll split that top, so I'll come down halfway, then I'll come down the other half, pushing all the batter back into the middle, whatever's left. It helps you get the last little bits. We're going to spread this batter out in the bottom of this Pyrex dish. I'm going to put another layer of strawberries in here. So I'll finish incorporating the rest of these on top. And again, those strawberries from being macerated will lend itself giving a little bit more juice in there. And now we're going to sprinkle that topping right over the top. And our strawberry shortcake crumble. That wonderful welcome to the first few days, dog days of summer. First of the market fruits there. We're going to put it into a 375-degree oven for roughly about 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to try and center that pan. But do note that if there's a lot of moisture from those strawberries, especially later on in June when they really get to that height of their season, that baking time may kind of vary about 5 or 10 minutes, a little bit longer because of all that extra moisture. So let me set a timer for 35 minutes. We'll come back and we'll take a look at where that crumble is at that time. After 35 minutes, I checked the strawberry crumble, and then it wasn't done yet, so I gave it another 10 minutes, and so after 45 minutes, it's perfect. What you want to do is you want to give it a nice little push on the top. It will be hot. Just make sure it doesn't stay down. It's going to give you a little bounce back. You can serve it hot, but this is actually a little too hot to serve it. I'm going to let it cool down for about 10 minutes, and then we can sprinkle some powdered sugar on this and serve it up, or we could serve it with ice cream. But there you go, your strawberry shortcake crumble. 45 minutes. Perfect thing for the beginning of the summer, right when the berries come out. Later on in the summer when maybe you got the apricots, or even later on in the fall when the apples come out, this would be a great recipe to use. Just substitute the apples instead of the strawberries in this. So a great dessert, easy to make, a few ingredients, at the height of the berry season. Thanks for watching Cooking from the Cave. I'm Chef Pete Trzeciak, and I will see you real soon.